Happy Tuesday. I was itchy, sorry.
This is how our morning starts every morning. I'm just sitting here very quiet and calm.
That is a lie. Don't you believe that? That is a lie. That is a lie. Happy Trump Tuesday, y'all.
What have we sung already this morning? We have sung all the songs from Greece.
Yeah.
Because somebody said that she looked like a pink lady. And she looked like a pink lady. She looks like a first lady. Just saying.
Except I will not be ornamental.
I knew that was coming. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle. I mean, you're pretty brave. You're pretty brave. The first thing in the morning, you grab that cup of coffee and you think, I got to hear what those two ladies have to say because they're unfiltered, uncensored, unapologetic. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Was that an ad? Sure. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe on all social media platforms. Welcome to our Spotify audience. We love you guys. We're grateful that you choose to listen to us. We've got a ton of things to talk about today, Allie, including some of Trump's wins. We hear that there is a grand jury that's being formed. Mm-hmm. So, drum roll.
In Florida.
You're in Florida.
You're in Florida.
We know a couple people that will be like broadcasting live from there.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait for this to happen.
Gonna be reckoning is coming. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Make sure that you comment if you're watching us on a streaming platform because we would love to hear your comments. Let's go ahead and open this mic, Allie.
Take 'em back on freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love Abbott and Trump. I trust November 5th. You gon' ride with us? Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor of MAGAville, the RNC King. 2024 freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on. Keep it on.
What do you do when they come for you? Freedom's what you gotta lose. Red hat stays on. Red hat stays on.
How long should we let them just see us jam? If you want to know what a road trip is like with Allie and Michelle.
Oh my gosh. That, I think, our first road trip, where was it? We were going to D.C.
It was the inauguration.
Oh my God.
And we climbed in the car and we're like, listen, we know we say we're besties and we work together and we're always together, but we're about to see just how close we are because being in a confined, who was it that said, oh, Charlie Kirk said, if before you marry somebody, take a road trip with them and be forced to be in a confined space.
Yeah, but I mean, that goes with any relationship, whether it's a work relationship, a best friend relationship, you kind of got to figure out if you got to figure it out.
And then when we got to Washington, D.C., we were put in a sardine box hotel because, thank you, Trump, all the other hotels were taken. Then they changed everything from outdoors to indoors, and we were like, we got it. We'll on the fly change
wild.
it. I just went on a road trip this weekend with my daughter.
I know, it was great. Congratulations.
It was great. Well, and she's 20 and doesn't hate me. So,
that's good.
Hey, I'll take that as a win, right? Yeah, it was fun. It's fun, but you definitely get to know somebody better when you're in a car with them for over 8 hours.
It either makes or breaks you.
It either makes or breaks you. Speaking of making or breaking,
let's go.
Listen, we are going to celebrate some wins here today because all we do is win.
Wins.
Win,
I love it
win.
when we talk about MAGA wins.
First thing I want to talk about, because most of our audience, this pertains to you, right? The middle class, the very part of America that communism, Marxist, Leninism, socialism all wants to dissipate, right? That middle class. So when you see this class warfare going on under some of your leftist presidents, that's why, because they really want to disseminate and choke out the middle class. Not so under a Trump administration. The middle class is actually seeing, in just a few short months, tremendous growth as far as their pay. Take a quick listen to Scott Bessent.
And you've got some other good news, haven't you, about blue-collar wage growth?
Blue-collar wage growth, the only other time it's been this high, wait for it, was during President Trump's first term. So we've seen real wages for hourly workers, non-supervisory workers, rise almost 2% in the first 5 months.
Why is that?
No president has done that before.
And why is that?
It's the president's emphasis on manufacturing.
So President Trump is focusing on the jobs that blue collar workers tend to have. Remember the jobs that they said, oh, Americans don't want those jobs. That's why we're allowing illegal immigrants to come in. And this is why the job numbers now, when they put out the job numbers, Allie, they tend to show you the jobs that are being created and maintained by those that are born here natively, because we really want an America First policy is just that. It's not that we are not friendly to migrants. It's that you have to come here the right way, a legal way, and that the jobs should be given, obviously, to those that are here legally. This is exciting. This is the Secretary of Treasury. I don't know any other administration that we've ever heard seen press junkets given by the Secretary of Treasury.
I don't never.
Most of the time they don't
remember that.
They don't want to talk.
That's amazing. I mean, there's a lot of different cabinet positions that are actually coming to the media specifically to give their information. We haven't even seen cabinet meetings the way that President Trump holds his cabinet meetings ever before. So it's fantastic. And the fact that you were talking about trades, the American trade deficit fell 16%. 16% between May and June, by the way. So, I mean, that is amazing for all of the panicants out there. And those that were like, it's going to be terrible. We're going to go into a depression. Well, it doesn't look like we're doing that.
And here's the thing. We trust the man we elected in November 5th to be the author. He's not only the author of The Art of the Deal, but to practice the art of the deal here as he runs a country, arguably the largest CEO, right? Ever.
Yes.
And what I love is that there is now there's a compromise being made with Mexico, or there was a compromise being made with Mexico, but not so with Canada. I want you guys to take a quick look at this post. Trump slapped Canada with 35% tariffs overnight. And if they try to retaliate, 40% fine. This is different, Allie, than what he did with Mexico, where Mexico actually got 90 days to negotiate. Canada was given 0. And it's funny, in looking into this a little bit, what I realized is that it matters how you negotiate a deal. A lot of us see this even in our personal lives, or for those of you that have businesses. As a former realtor, I think most of America was a former realtor at some point, but it's all about how you present yourself and how you present the deal and the offer and the negotiations. If you come out right out of the gate and you just, give a lowball offer or something that really shows that you don't have an intent of being truly respectful in negotiating, the other party has a right to kind of withdraw, back up, or even like Trump did, slap Canada with taxes or with tariffs, with higher tariffs. Listen, part of the history is that Canada originally said that they were going to not work with Trump. They actually tried to do a reciprocal tax, but I think they wanted to hike ours up to like 50%.
Yeah, they did.
It was crazy. This was all under the former Prime Minister Trudeau,
who is now obsessed over Katy Perry.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's weird. I do a lot of culture stuff. It's just.
That's not okay.
Interesting.
I guess the moral of the story is when you're doing negotiations, you see how well Trump did this and how effectively he did this with the European Union. Yeah, how well he did it. He's done it with other areas. Apparently, China now coming to the table. This is truly the art of the deal in practice, but not so with Canada. And if Canada keeps this up, they tried to say they were going to, everything that we import, they're going to put an even larger tariff on. I think somebody said something about bacon. Do we get bacon from Canada?
Maybe and that might be the only thing. I don't really know.
What Canada?
Syrup.
What have you done for me lately?
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup. That's it.
Maybe
we have viewers from Canada. Remember, they were chiming in. We would like to know, what's your take? How is this being reported north of the border? Is it? Are they reporting that Trump's crazy? Probably.
Of course. It's
Probably.
a thing. But yes, if you guys have not read The Art of the Deal, you need to actually read that, because you'll get a firsthand understanding of how President Trump is able to negotiate as well as he is. And you could probably learn a couple things about how to negotiate yourself. It's a great kind of self-improvement.
We negotiate in everything. You negotiate in relationships.
Yep.
You negotiate in relationships.
You do. You negotiate in business deals and friendships, literally in everything.
Everything. Guys, I want you guys to we're going to give a little update on American Eagle.
Yes. Because we talked about this yesterday. American Eagle stocks are apparently surging. I want you to take a look at this post that Trump made.
Let's see if we have it. Where he's calling Sydney Sweeney just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Hot. He's saying, he's making it all sorry, we had a light issue here in the studio. We got dimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, one of our lights
went out. But yeah, so what Trump is saying here by complimenting American Eagle actually had a direct effect on their stocks. Take a look at this next post. Let's see if we can get that next one up here. Nope. Okay. Because Eric Daughtery says American Eagle stocks surged nearly 20% following Trump's little tweet there about praising Sydney Sweeney and the jeans ad. This is sorry, trying to get the light situation done here. This is exactly what leadership does. I don't know that he should be praising any one company, but they want to come out and call this Nazi American Eagle having, jeans and saying that they mean Sweeney has good jeans.
It came after everybody found out she was registered Republican. So I don't know.
Is she registered Republican?
Yeah, she's registered Republican.
Does that matter? Does that matter?
It shouldn't in the ads. No, it shouldn't. But I think that's why every time there was a joke made that every time a woke leftist cries about Sydney Sweeney, 10 Gen Zers vote Republican. Or register Republican.
Because the young people get this. They're smart. They understand.
Beauty sells, you guys. It just does. And it just does. This is what happens. And it's just culture. It's marketing.
And listen, you can say that beauty is relative. What I consider beautiful and what you consider beautiful.
It is relative.
Can be two totally different things. We can celebrate that. But talking about jeans and a play on words, listen, this is brought to you. The people that are crying about this, guys, are the same people that brought to you tuck-friendly bathing suits so you can tell people, your children in Target, that if they don't
who have men in women face who are the face of makeup for women.
Listen, I'll listen to a Kardashian every now and then about contouring, but I'm not listening to a man about makeup. I'm just not. While he's got 5 o'clock shadow. That ain't happening. If that makes us hateful, I don't know.
It's not hateful. It's just women know how to do makeup. Why?
Now, I will say this because I did sell cosmetics for a long time.
Okay.
In a former life. But
I did too.
There are men that can apply makeup.
Yes.
And I have worked side by side, and I'm like,
who's that famous guy? He's, oh my gosh, Jeffrey.
Yes. I know who you're talking about.
Jeffrey.
But I don't want to see them wear it.
I mean, he's got great makeup skills
and great cheekbones. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't
necessarily buy his makeup, but
no, I wouldn't either. Well, we found out in this country, Allie, go woke, go broke, and that's what's happened. So I guess if you go Americana,
that's really all it is. That's honestly what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about bringing back the spirit of Americana, and I think we have fallen, like 1% of the country has fallen so short of what actually Americana is, what it does, that it triggers people that don't believe in America anymore.
Absolutely. Well, it worked between Trump praising them for being pro-America and people responding. I mean, we saw independent journalists
invested in American Eagle. I'm kind of mad about it right now.
Replicated our own American Eagle ad. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, try to get our lighting resolved here. But while we do that, before we do that, we want to make sure you see our friends, Allie and I, and others that are influencers in the MAGA world, took to X and did our own American Eagle ad. Shout out to
Political Savvy and Liberty Valkyrie on X. Follow them.
Take a quick look, then we'll roll a commercial. We'll be back with Open Mic.
Sydney Sweeney has very canes.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very canes.
You see what I did there, right?
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
Do you have enough food to feed your family for several months if the supply chain falls apart? If not, why not?
There is no guarantee that grocery stores or even local farmers will be operating in your area if circumstances change.
The problem is that most survival food sucks. That's why we get long-term storage food from Heaven's Harvest. Their food doesn't suck.
Heaven's Harvest uses all natural ingredients that they freeze dry to maximize taste, nutrition, and shelf life.
They source their foods locally, right here in the United States. They even offer heirloom seeds so you can grow your own food.
It's the kind of food that you and your family could enjoy every day. And the way things are going, that might just happen.
Visit patriot.tv/food. That's patriot.tv/food and use promo code PATRIOT at checkout.
Don't wait. Stock up on long-term storage food today before food prices start rising again.
My emotional support water bottle.
Oh my gosh, Elena calls it her water support water bottle. And she's like, Mommy, I have to go get my water support water bottle. And I said, okay. I think we call it the emotional support water bottle. She goes, no, Mommy, you're my emotional support. She comes and gives me a hug.
Aww.
It's like the cutest little thing.
That's
7 years
sweet.
old. She's freaking adorable. And I do
That's
want
a
to
mom
give
win.
a huge shout out to my son, Alexander.
Yes.
He just got his first college football offer from
Southeastern University. My son went there.
And I am so excited for him. He is like crossing his fingers. He's working on UPenn right now. His dream school is Ohio State.
Is it really?
It really is. And he's just like, Mom, I don't know if I'm going to get there. And I'm like, baby, you just got to pray about it. So
he really wants Division I.
Yeah.
He's great. He's talented,
And
Ali.
he really is.
He is
He
so
really,
talented.
really is. He's
And a
wide
cutie
receiver.
pie. Oh, gosh. He's so
Wide receiver, and he's amazing. And he shuts down the left. Like all the time.
Yes.
All the time. And he's got like millennial Gen X humor.
And
So
he's got Allie's jeans. You want to talk about good jeans, okay?
so cute. I can't. Just so cute.
That's so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we just,
And
there goes our
did it
lighting
again.
again.
Listen, we rebuke you in the name of Jesus. This is not happening today. Goodness.
It's every time I say good jeans.
But wait, this is open mic after dark.
Let's set the mood. Do we have candles? Do we have candles?
Where's the candles?
Oh my gosh.
Two candles.
Well, we're gonna keep it rolling while we. Yeah, there we go. Look, we're back to our regular color.
Camera like just is like, no, ladies. In the dark you are.
I think our camera's left leaning. I'm just gonna say.
Most likely.
Let's talk about what's happening in the state of Texas, the good old state. Most things are bigger and better in Texas, I've been told. But
bigger, better, richer. What?
You know what? We are on the coattails of Texas here in Florida, trying to do the same thing. Allegedly, Hope DeSantis is working on this, but Governor Abbott is not playing. Here's what happened. Let's replay this for our viewers. So Texas, because they have a Republican stronghold, they really want to push to redistrict their congressional map. What this will do is it will divide the state differently and probably gain seats in the House of Representatives. 5 seats, they're saying. Thank you, ma'am. You always got the receipts. I love that. So this is something that you should be allowed to do. The voters in the state of Texas obviously are very right-leaning because they put these people in office.
Well, they've also been the spearhead of the terrible, horrible, no good Biden administration policies, right? Where the invasion was occurring literally at the border in Texas.
They were the front of it, really.
They did. They really did.
So you have Governor Abbott coming out and saying, yeah, get something across my desk. Let's do this. And take a look at this post. What took place is the Democrats said, you know what? We're not going to participate. We're not going to show up for work so we can have this vote.
So they broke quorum.
They broke quorum. Quorum is when you need enough people in attendance to actually vote. They
Right.
broke quorum.
And fled.
Governor Abbott says he will remove from office any Democrat who abandons their duty and refuses to show up by 3 p.m. This was yesterday. That's how it's done. So again, we can bring it back here, Krista. Again, didn't show up for work, caught the first train out of town, and broke quorum. The interesting thing about this, Allie, when I was looking into this, they had quorum. The speaker there in Texas, the Speaker of the House there, he could have forced the vote then.
Yeah. Well, so this is the issue with Texas and South Carolina. So everyone thinks of red states, right? What are the top 3 red states you think of? Texas, Florida, and South Carolina.
I wouldn't have put South Carolina.
But South Carolina, if you are politically, if you understand politics, it's South Carolina. But South Carolina, their legislature, while they are Republican, they are the leftist Republicans in all of like the country of red states. It is insane. And Texas is the same way. It's crazy. So they're allowing, right, Democrats and Republicans in name only to behave in ways that do not align with party values, which is 2016, President Trump's party.
Yeah.
It has become President Trump's party since he ran for office in 2016 and won.
Absolutely, absolutely. Allie, this is what I'm talking about. If you take a look, the House in Texas has voted. So they've now voted to pass this, that if you're not showing up for work,
arrest warrants.
You're going to
They
get
voted
arrested.
for arrest warrants.
Take a quick listen to the soundbite. This is fun.
I love it.
Being 85 ayes and 6 nays, the motion prevails. The Sergeant at Arms and any officers appointed by her are directed to send for all absentees whose attendance is not excused for the purposes of securing and maintaining their attendance under warrant of arrest if necessary until further order of the House.
Woo! F around, find out. Guys, this is what happens when you, one, understand proper roles and responsibilities. Look, I get fiery. When you understand proper roles and responsibilities of the seat in which you sit, and how government actually operates, how it's supposed to actually operate, this is what happens. You can utilize the Sergeant at Arms. Why DC doesn't do it, I have no idea. Maybe because they have no balls, but that is the problem.
No spine, that's for sure.
No spine, no whatever it is. Whatever part of anatomy that you think makes you a strong person, that's the part that's missing. So this I love this. And I love that Governor Abbott is actually taking it to the mat and saying, look, either you show up to work or you're fired. And it also makes them look weak. Now, mind you, I want you to know that the Democrats are crying these crocodile tears, right? These swamp puppy tears. And they're saying, oh, you're gonna gerrymander, and it's gonna, what did they say? It's only for white Republicans.
It's for race. Listen.
That's what they said. But these 5 districts that they're going to pick up are all Hispanic.
Let me just talk to you a moment about gerrymandering.
Go figure.
Gerrymandering is not something that you should do based on race. That is not what's happening. Anybody, again, who's worked in real estate understands that you cannot gerrymander whether you're trying to not sell houses in a certain area, a certain district, or you're
discrimination.
It is called discrimination. That is not what's happening. You can't discriminate. You can't gerrymander and call it gerrymandering based on party. It doesn't work that way.
Based on party and population. It's population. It's population driven. That is the point.
But
period.
To the point that
it should be geometrical.
To the point that Allie's making.
It should not be these like weird oblong crazy shapes. I'm sorry, go.
Can we talk about that for a minute? There is right here, and I'm sorry, it just got really bright in here. Did you see that? Light bulb went off in my head. Right here in Sarasota County, for the longest time, we had this school board member that nobody really wanted to be elected anymore. And they redrew the district map to go like in a perfect box. And then it went like this for her house and back in. Yes, she drew the district lines so that she could, listen, it happens. And we understand that it does happen. That's not what's happening here. But here is, you're going to love this next video. This is Texas Democrat Representative Jolanda is her at. She's going to be talking about, listen, you can't come get us. We're in Illinois. We're in Illinois, New York, other states, other blue states. You can't. What are you going to do? Come here and arrest us? Take a listen, then we'll comment.
I'm a lawyer. A part of my practice is criminal defense work. There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit. Okay? He's trying to get sound bites. and he has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York, so he gonna come get us how? Subpoenas in Texas don't work in Chicago. He's gonna come get us how? So let me be clear. He's putting up smoke and mirrors, and I'm hopeful that the media doesn't follow that. I will also say this.
I love when they're confident and wrong.
Like 10 toes down on stupid is what that is. Are you never coming back to your house?
10 toes down on stupid.
Are you never coming back to work? You're not going to run for re-election? Like that takes.
You just admitted you vacated your seat. Bye. Like, do you not read your state constitution, Miss Lawyer? Are you serious? Oh my God.
And
Democrats, keep talking. Please. You will never win ever again.
And you seek refuge in states like New York and Illinois and California. Illinois is the worst at gerrymandering. They admit it. They admit it. Governor Newsom has like a whole commission that he set up on redrawing district lines where he looks at how they vote. He looks at how they vote and he decides to redraw districts so they don't ever become Republican. Ever. You're going to seek solitude in a state that is giving illegal aliens their.
Look, racists will do what racists
I'm
do.
so mad because
I can't.
I'm like, how are you sitting in Illinois and Chicago? How are you sitting in Chicago?
He gonna come get us how?
That tells me their property's about to be foreclosed on because they're not coming back to live at home.
Bye.
Their jobs, you can go ahead and fire them.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing.
You're sweet, baby.
Because the governor absolutely can remove a sitting representative for not showing up to work.
Yeah. That is
It is
not,
well within.
They are in full meltdown mode.
It's hilarious.
Listen, if you don't uphold, if you're not there to vote, and I think it's in every state legislation. Don't quote me on that. If not, then her and I are going to change it and make sure that it is. But if you're not there to vote, X number of votes, X number of days, you're basically without a proper excuse. I know here in the state of Florida, there are things, you have things like, death, all those things that you can be excused from your seat. It should be viewed as an abdication of your role in government.
Yep. 1,000%.
Here's what Governor, I can't.
I cannot.
The governor of Texas had this to say. Take a listen to Governor Abbott.
Well, Sean, first of all, Texas is doing what we are allowed to by the law. And one reason why that law exists the way that it does is because the Democrats brought a lawsuit after our last redistricting, and that decision and that lawsuit came out last year. And that lawsuit recognized that coalition districts are not required. And so Texas has a right to redraw these lines to fully represent the desires of every voter in the state. But Sean, that misses the point here. The point here is that Democrats have done something that's very un-Texan. They've turned their backs on their fellow Texans. When it came to a fight, they turned and ran away, not just from this redistricting fight, they ran away from dealing with the flooding issues that are still echoing across the Kerrville area. Families desperately need results from the state legislature in this 30-day special session that are not going to be delivered because Democrats are hanging out in Chicago and New York and other places.
I have such a problem with people who run from issues. If you talk all this game, all this hard stuff, you talk it, but when it comes to actually acting it out, you cower. Yeah. Everyone that fled the state of Texas as a Democrat, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, I don't care what you are, your character is showing as a weak person. You are weak and you are feeble and you do not deserve to sit and represent the people of your state.
And let me tell you, to piggyback on
Blue
that,
Falcons.
to do that during a special session that was called to give your constituents the much needed relief that they need from the Guadalupe River disaster. Your people, your constituents don't care whether you're blue or red. They're waiting on you to get back to work and do the job and pass emergency funding that is available. It's literally sitting there for them. You're going to make these families miss out. You're going to make these families that are burying loved ones, you're going to make them hurt even more. Why? Because you want to stand on a soapbox that you think is going to get you reelected. There's never going to be another Democrat voted into office across Texas, as far as I can see. This is putting your own pride and your own ego above your oath of office. We've seen it been done a lot, but this is grandstanding in its worst.
Absolutely, and every single Texan should be pissed. And I hope that each of you are working against the Democrats that have left and to put a good Republican in their spot.
Absolutely. And
I'll help you out. You can email me at contact@Open Mic Ladies, and we will help you figure out how to retake those seats.
That's right. Listen, guys, the other troubling thing is that you do have a Republican stronghold in your state of Texas, but that the speaker really could have not convened after 7 minutes of getting quorum. He could have presented this for vote and pushed the issue. A lot of people are saying, you know, if you're gonna have this fight, if you're gonna really dial in and have this fight, make sure that you are the strongest person, the strongest, most active person, that you can actually stand and make the tough calls. This is not easy. This is when you need like a Matt Gaetz or a Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know
this is what happens when you need strong-willed people that will stand on principle, not someone that is scared to get into the fight. You can't talk a big game, and then once you enter the ring, you cower. You stand there, and you take the blows, and you blow back. That's what happens.
Again, Democrats now crying about redistricting their congressional seats, but they don't cry at the fact that for the past 2 decades, California, actually, I can't say 2 decades, 1 decade, Gavin Newsom especially is really for this. He has a California redistricting commission where all they do is work on redistricting. So maybe some of the Democrats can cry about that as well and get your own governor in the state of California to, I don't know, care about this. Same thing with Illinois. Same thing. Actually, they did a consensus on who redraws and redistricts the maps most. The 3 states, New York under Hochul, Illinois under Pritzker, and California under Newsom. So 3 Democrat stronghold states, sanctuary city states, don't care about your and my daughters when it comes to illegal aliens and allowing them to have run ramshot on their streets, but they care about taking out a pen and redrawing district lines based on the consensus. This is
race.
Yeah. This is
it's insane.
Tune in here, Open Mic. We are going to keep watching this, and we're going to keep promoting this here within our wonderful state of Florida. If you're living in a Republican stronghold and you guys typically have, you know, like the House, Senate, and governorship like we do here in Florida, this is something you should be asking your state legislators to do. They can convene for a special session. It only takes 2/3 majority vote. If you have a Republican majority, that should be easy to do. I recommend Florida get on it. This would be nice to see.
I think they're working on it. I do.
Guys, we're going to take another quick commercial break. We're going to get more into what's taking place with the Russian hoax that now we all know. We can finally say it out loud and not really be kicked off of social media for it because it's true. We're going to talk more about what Pam Bondi has just done, the action she's taken. We're very happy about it. Stay tuned here to Open Mic right after this.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has 0 complaints from their customers. 0. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
We'll get it
We
together
have
here.
too much fun up here.
We'll get it together here. I mean, it's fun. I think this is why people like to be in the studio, and then they try not to laugh out loud.
No, for sure.
They're trying to literally
Oh my
LOL.
gosh, our tech team is always laughing.
We're so grateful. We got to name them out. We're thankful for Kevin and Marisha. We're thankful for Brianna, for all those that help make this possible, because it does take a team.
And
Guys,
everyone at Patriot, thank you guys.
oh, thank you, Patriot. Thank you, Krista and David and Drew, and obviously JD. Guys, wherever you're watching us from, I don't know who calls. Who calls me in the middle of everybody I know? This has got to be spam. Should I answer it?
Yeah.
Okay, do your thing. Ready?
Hello.
Michelle.
Thank you for calling the Liberal Rehabilitation Hotline. How may I help you? Hello?
Yes.
Well, you have to say hello first before you figure out whether or not it's like actually
That's what I
spam.
wanted you to say. That's
I,
why
but that's why I said hello, and I couldn't hear what she said. But yes, thank you for calling the Liberal Rehabilitation Hotline. That is how we shut down spammers.
Spammers, but okay, that was fun.
You did it. It was great.
That was okay. It
It
was
was great.
better when you do
I
it
know,
though,
but it's
because she yells at people.
I do.
Tell them what you did the one time where you answered the
No.
phone and you said
Nope.
No.
Nope. I'm not doing that one. That was mine. That stays in the vault.
It was really good. It was really good. I dare you to spam Allie. I dare you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk
Try
about
that.
what's taking place at the Department of Justice. We've been harsh on Pam Bondi for a lot of things, but we do obviously appreciate her as well. She's had a long-standing run here in Florida as our Attorney General before she was your Attorney General for the United States. But she has just come out and it says here the DOJ has opened a grand jury investigation into Obama officials. So this is the next step. This was, the DNI director, Tulsi Gabbard, issues the criminal referral. DOJ picks it up. Now they're saying, okay, this is on the heels of them really, the first thing they did was form a strike force. And I've never heard of a strike force before. It sounded something like maybe like Marvel would get involved in. I was like, ooh, who's going to play the lead?
Assemble.
Doesn't it? I was like, ooh, who's going to play the lead? Iron Man. Who's going to play Iron Man? I don't know. No, she shut that down. But I saw you today in the parking lot, and I was like, today's going to be rough because I'm in a mood.
No, we're good.
Part of what Tulsi
Iron
Gabbard,
Man, Captain America. Who's playing the Hulk? I want to know that. Who would play the Hulk? Would that be Tom Homan?
I would have said like Hulk Hogan. That would have been amazing.
Oh. But policy-wise.
Okay, policy-wise, Tom Homan. Absolutely.
Guys, text us. Email us. I want to know. Comment below. Who do you think, as far as the administration, would be the Avengers? Specifically, everybody.
Specifically.
Like, I want to know.
Who's going to be Black Widow?
Who's Black? Probably Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard, I could see that.
I could totally see her as Black Widow.
This is good. Okay, watch that. There'll be an AI video coming soon. This is what Tulsi Gabbard really was saying in her referral to the DOJ, that the U.S. intelligence community was in fact weaponized. And this is the crazy thing, guys. They stored documents that were not classified with classified documents in hopes that you would not find them, that you and I would not find them. Trump has attacked Obama and Gabbard's claims. He's basically come out and said, Gabbard is telling the truth. Obama has come out and tried to say this is not in fact true. He's saying that I think people think that he can claim immunity. This is not the case because of what took place with Trump. Isn't there already precedents for presidents not being able to claim immunity when they're doing their official business, Well, we talked about this too. Is like he is immune from official proceedings, but he can't lie under oath and he can't plead the fifth. He has to answer the questions truthfully about what he did while he was president. The moment they figure out he's lying or he decides to plead the fifth, immunity is off the table. Take a quick look at this. Of course, this is Reuters. It's very difficult to find an independent news source that's in print. So sometimes I go to the Associated Press directly or Reuters, but this is them basically saying, I don't know if we have the clip from the website there, but basically, Attorney General Pam Bondi has directed federal prosecutors to launch a grand jury investigation into these allegations. Word on the street is it's going to convene here in Florida. Well, does that have anything to do with the raid on Mar-a-Lago when they were looking for evidence that was falsified? Like, the raid on Mar-a-Lago was a false flag. Yeah, really. Is what you could say. Because there was no evidence base, no factual evidence. It was all fabricated, right? In order for them to go to Mar-a-Lago and do this raid. So he's a victim of weaponization because that's his residency. Yes. And so of course it would be held here in Florida. Well, and so General Flynn, he posted this. He said, did I hear this right? Florida may have jurisdiction. I would like to reserve my front row seat now to what will be a historic trial. I may even have an RV parked outside. Yes! Oh, that's the Flynn mobile. It is. I'm so excited. I want to be in the room. Can we be in the room? Can we be in the room, General Flynn? General Flynn, we're going to call you actually. We promise that we'll only have coffee in our cup. General Flynn, can we be in the room? He's not answering that call right now. He's like,
No,
these ladies are crazy.
He's worried. He's
The
worried.
question on everybody's minds is, do you think we'll actually see justice? So I want to get to this little soundbite, and then I'll get your reaction to this. Take a look.
Okay.
Well, we have particular vulnerability, do we not, for John Brennan, who testified before Congress. The allegations come from, well-placed individuals that he could have committed perjury, along with others who testified before Congress. Do you see that as one of the main charges that could come out of this grand jury?
That's one of the charges, is perjury. Another charge that I think is most likely is a conspiracy charge, maybe conspiracy against rights under 18 U.S.C. Section 241. And remember, when you have an ongoing conspiracy, when you are covering up that conspiracy, the statute of limitations does not begin to start tolling. And so this is an ongoing criminal conspiracy. The people who are perpetuating this conspiracy are still covering it up. And so, again, I would say to these lawfare Democrats, lawyer up, because justice is definitely coming.
Yeah, weaponizing the intel community against a candidate or an incoming president. We've never seen anything like that before in American history, if that's what the facts end up showing. Mike?
Well, yes. And so, Allie, I want to also talk about another post that General Michael Flynn made. Of course, he's right at the heart of this, guys,
Yes, he
because it
is.
was an attack to get Flynn in order to get him to rat on Trump. There was no information to rat on, but he lost a lot of it. I mean, his livelihood, really, in his name. He said this: when they start bringing some in for testimony to the grand jury, I know a few lawyers in Washington, D.C. that used to work in Washington, D.C. that will need to lawyer up. Good luck with that. You're going to need it. Listen, there one law firm in particular, we will not name them here, but they advised then National Security Advisor General Michael Flynn. They advised him to take a plea of guilt in order to stop the federal government from attacking and going after Flynn. And eventually, they thought they were going to try to dig up something on his son. And as any parent would, I mean, you kind of step up and go, okay, well, you're trusting your lawyers, right? What do I got to do to make this go away? I mean, I'm resigning. I'm stepping down. Like, I don't want the whole breadth of the federal government and the intelligence community to come after me. And they advised him poorly. Really, he's since gone after them in other ways and rescinded that. But that brought the narrative on that Flynn had pled guilty, or that Flynn had admitted guilt in some way. So there's going to be even some DC law firms.
I'm sure there's going to be some DC law firms that are going to end up, receiving the hammer of accountability. But I like that this is going incrementally, because we have to educate the public, right? In the court of public opinion, everything matters. And we have some people still in this nation that are still not sold on what the truth is, because they bought the lie. And it's hard to admit when you've been wrong in most cases.
Right. Well,
So
it tastes like vinegar.
I like apple cider.
I mean, it doesn't happen often.
No, it's not that bad.
That I'm wrong. But when I am.
But this, I think
okay.
this is a big deal. We have never seen anything like this before in American history. And so with independent journalists now, I think it is so important for us to make sure that we are spreading the truth and we are having these conversations to talk about these things, to talk about what DNI is uncovering, because it is important. And people need to know, so that when justice does happen, it's not a huge surprise and there isn't a giant rise up.
Well, and I think you're right, because early on when this information came out, when the first load of documents came out that Tulsi Gabbard had, I would say declassified, but they weren't classified to begin with. They were just stored with classified material. The first document release, right away, people came up and said in mainstream media, oh my gosh, you guys cannot go after a former sitting president. Do you know what kind of an uprising there's going to be if you try to arrest, say, Barack Obama? He's got a lot of supporters. I mean,
they didn't arrest President Trump, but he went to court.
They got a mugshot.
He was indicted. 34 times on bogus charges. And there was no uproar. That is the difference.
That is the difference. Thank you. That is the difference. But here's what I love. We've got people now in independent.
We're not committed to our own bullshit and ignorance.
I love that. We have people now in independent media and journalism that are committed to making sure that you and I understand what has been taken on. When somebody talks about the collusion that went on throughout the Obama administration, take a look at this graphic. We're going to keep it on the screen for a bit so you can really kind of mull through it a bit. Collusion. So you're going to hear this word thrown around a lot with the Russian hoax. This is something that specifically happened under the Obama administration when they should have been trying to peacefully transfer power in 2016 and 2017 to President Trump. This is why they're talking about collusion so much in the news. When an attorney general meets in secret with the spouse of someone under investigation, that took place under the Obama administration. Collusion is when media provides questions to one candidate in advance. That happened in the debates. Remember, Hillary Clinton got the questions in advance.
And collusion is when a political party conspires with one candidate to block another candidate in their primary.
Again, Democrat Party.
Collusion is when a sitting president wiretaps the candidate of the opposing party to help their opponent.
Barack Obama. Okay, of course, we've got Shifty Schiff coming up here. Collusion is when government officials leak classified information to the media to smear a sitting U.S. president that we now know was not really warranted, founded intelligence information. Collusion is also when an FBI director at that time, Comey, hands out immunity to persons involved in a criminal investigation after they destroyed the evidence. Hillary Clinton.
Wow. So that is a breakdown for you.
Collusion, colluding, working together. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. Ooh,
Mark,
we're seeing something
22
of biblical proportion happening right here. You're living through it. You're living through it. So keep it tuned here, guys. We'll make sure that we're educated just as much as we educate you, because I think this is part of how government works. It's designed to protect itself. And when you know more about how government works and what you're seeing play out in the media right now, it'll make you a better voter, to be honest. You'll know why you're voting the way you are. You'll know why your activism and the role that you play is so important. Allie, we want to move off of the Russian hoax just for a moment because we want to celebrate when MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, has some great victories. I did see that Secretary Kennedy is now wanting all mercury to be taken out of vaccines. They're saying that that's going to happen.
Thimerosal.
Yeah, they're going to have that done apparently by 2027. I found this really interesting because, in real estate, when you're selling a house, you have to have a lead-based paint disclosure that says basically we did not use lead-based paint or paint after like 76 or prior to 1776. Why is that? Because metals are harmful when ingested, but they're going to put it in vaccines and pump it into you.
So the FDA has a limit for what is acceptable for the human body before it becomes harmful. In vaccinations, it is triple, sometimes quadruple the amount that is actually allowed by the FDA to be ingested or whatever around a human. But let's inject it. And what's worse is let's inject it in pregnant women.
Oof.
That hasn't been double-blind placebo tested. So you can't eat salmon, and you can't eat pregnant, and you can't eat lunch meat, and you can't take Tylenol, and you can't take multivitamins like colloidal silver or homeopathy. But let's inject you with mercury and formaldehyde and aluminum and parasites and fillers and DNA from human babies.
Yeah. Allie, and this is the other thing, the amounts of mercury that were found in our vaccines are not the same today that they were when I was younger. We had, I think, maybe 6 vaccines total that you had to have as a young person. Now it's like 150, over like 180
doses.
So you're ramming this stuff into children. That's why they're finding this link with autism. And we are poisoning, but
poison.
Kennedy didn't stop there. Let's take a quick listen to what he's going to do to make our food stamp programs even healthier. Take a listen.
Now at this MAHA event in Washington about eliminating sugary foods and drinks in many states from the SNAP program, the food stamp program. Let's listen.
In a chronic disease crisis. Her changes to the SNAP program are emblematic of that commitment. SNAP, we're spending $405 million a day on SNAP, and about 10% is going to sugary drinks. And and if you add candies to that, it's about 13 to 17%. And we all believe in free choice. We live in a democracy. People can make their own choice about what they're going to buy and what they're not going to buy. If you want to buy a sugary soda, you ought to be able to do that. But the U.S. taxpayer should not pay for it. And the U.S. taxpayer should not be paying to feed kids foods, the poorest kids in our country, with foods that are going to give them diabetes. And then my agency ends up through Medicaid and Medicare paying for those injuries. So we're going to put an end to that, and we're doing it step by step, state by state. I'm also working with Secretary Rollins on the dietary guidelines, which should come out next month. The dietary, they're coming out, I think it's at the end of September, 3 months ahead of schedule. And the dietary guidelines that we inherited from the Biden administration were 453 pages long. They were driven by the same commercial impulses that put Fruit Loops at the top of the food pyramid. And they were incomprehensible. And we are going to release dietary guidelines that are 4, 5, or 6 pages long, that are understandable, that are simple, and will allow people to make good choices about their food. They will drive changes in the school lunch program and prison lunches and military food, and they will begin to change America almost immediately. We're also working on the release of the MAHA report.
The MAHA report will be ahead of schedule. Everything's ahead of schedule with Secretary Kennedy.
Because these people, they hit the ground running. They didn't hit the ground and go, oh, what do we do? They ran to get it done.
I do like Fruit Loops.
Yes, but it would be so much better if they actually tasted.
If they actually had real ingredients. I get it.
Ingredients.
And I think that's part of the alarm.
What's the point?
That people go, oh no, they're going to take away all the food that I enjoy.
Taking away. They're just removing all of the dyes.
I'll be the child. You be the parent right now.
Yes. And they're like, no, cry. No, your child does not have hyperactivity. You just gave them a bunch of freaking sugar. You gave them a pound of sugar before you sent them to school. And they have to sit still because they're not letting boys and girls actually be active children like they're supposed to be. They're telling them to sit down, shut up, and ask permission to raise their hand to ask a question. Ask permission to go to the bathroom. Ask permission to do this. Ask permission to do that. It's not even like proper education, first of all. And you're giving them a pound of sugar beforehand. No.
Well, and to his point, Allie, that, we believe in choice, in the parents' right to choose whether or not they want to give their child these ingredients.
Right.
But is it
I'm not paying for it.
Right. Is it the taxpayer's responsibility through these SNAP and food benefit programs?
Then I have to pay for all of the other medication for the illness it provides.
So remember I was talking the other day about the pipeline to prison that Obama said we had, which was our education system expelling students that would get in trouble too much and then they'd end up in prison. This is a pipeline to death, basically, that our health community had, where you would buy it as a taxpayer. You were responsible for buying the junk food. It causes all the health concerns within children. They end up going to being diabetic, still being funded, as he said, through Medicare and Medicaid. So then the government's kind of paying for this pipeline to your deathbed. I mean,
and then so while this is happening, there's a lot of things that are happening like simultaneously.
Yeah.
So as MAHA is doing this with the food and trying to make our food better and healthier, they're also going to have to retrain pharmaceuticals, right? They're going to have to retrain our doctors to understand that the body is cohesive. It is a whole thing. It's not just your liver or your heart or your intestines. It all works synchronistically together, which is how our government is supposed to work. But that's going to help people be more healthy instead of going to pharmaceutical industry to just completely, maintain symptoms.
Well, and just as we thought, we talked with government that all the different branches should be talking together. We think our intelligence community should work that. We think our local government should work like that. We think our families should work like that. Well, maybe our bodies work like that. And so taking a one-off, if you have, heart conditions or you have this or that, treating the whole body is more of I think, a better approach we might find moving forward with MAHA. One last thing we want to report to you guys before we sign off today.
I have some breaking news. So
breaking news. So we got 2 things. Thank you, Allie. You're welcome. How do you guys feel about this? I posted this on social media this morning. Want to get your take on it. Trying to crack down on the abuse of visas, and what people do is they come here and they overstay their visas. So Marco Rubio, take a quick look at this. He is proposing What about forcing a $15,000 bond to be paid for new visa applicants? It will help tighten the process, basically. And then if you overstay, not only are you evicted, basically, and maybe not allowed back into our country for a long, long time, but you do not get that bond back.
Ooh.
So making money on visas, but
that's strict
because we're finding the abuse of the visa program. So I'm wondering how you guys feel about that.
Yeah, please chime in, comment below, or email us so we can read your emails. We'd love to connect with you guys. So thank you so much for that. I want to know what everybody thinks about this too. I think this is an interesting way to crack down on visas, because we've seen a lot of especially the college visas, the visas that have gone out for education, they ended up being the ones that were running rampant in our colleges and doing all these crazy protests.
You don't want to be here. How awful America is because you're protesting everything, but yet you applied to be here on a visa.
Yeah, so if you're putting your money where your mouth is, maybe you won't act a fool.
And your mouth would be full. This is part of what Marco Rubio said, of course, Secretary of State. He says aliens applying for visas as temporary visitors for businesses or pleasure and who are nationals of countries identified by the department as having high visa overstay rates, that they will be the ones that mostly this will be implemented to. There are countries, go figure, that it's almost like they teach this as a class, how to come here and how to overstay your visa.
You know what I want to see done? I want to see diplomatic immunity removed. Because it doesn't require anyone to come here and act with some sense to assimilate. They don't understand our laws, they don't know our laws, and they don't respect our laws. So when they commit crimes, they're just like, oh, I'm a diplomat. I have immunity.
Did you even know that was a thing? Her and I had this conversation. I'm like, shut up, Allie. That's a real thing.
Serious. Yes, diplomatic immunity is a real thing. All right, so we have some breaking news. Representative James Comer posted this about an hour ago. He says the House Oversight Committee is compelling the following individuals to appear for depositions through issued subpoenas. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, October 9th. Former President Bill Clinton, October 14th. Former U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, October 2nd. Former FBI Director James Comey, October 7th. Former U.S. Attorney General William Barr, August 18th. Former U.S. Attorney General Albert Gonzales, August 26th. Former U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, August 28th. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller, September 2nd. Former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, September 9th. And former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, September 30th. You guys mark your calendars because this is happening.
This is what
I be in DC so bad.
No, we want to be in so many different places so bad. But listen, the weather's about to get cooler, right? It's gonna be pumpkin spice everything.
Is this
get
the
your
dark
popcorn?
Winter they were looming at?
Pop that popcorn. I prefer kettle corn. What's your favorite popcorn?
I think we should go dark. Dark mega.
Don't tell our camera that. It'll do it again. And our tech guy gets it.
I was hoping that because he's standing behind it, make sure it doesn't like spontaneously do it. So it was like me just saying do it just for that little second. No,
He's like, no,
he didn't catch it. It's fine. It's fine. I want a dramatic scenery effect. It's all good.
Thank you for that information, Allie, and thank you for keeping it with breaking news. Guys, make sure you follow at Real Allie Leger, at Michelle Posey.
Something funny to share? Do we have a funny clip? A funny video?
Other than the fact that we put up with Biden for how many years?
The New York Times. Did you guys see the New York
gosh.
Times?
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
It says African American meets Native American. The New York Times is trolling.
I can't even. Pocahontas, is that what they call her?
Elizabeth Warren is in New York City, visiting with Mamdani, the potential governor candidate,
mayor candidate,
whatever.
New York City.
I can't.
They've obviously they've played the race card in the wrong race. But if you don't know, obviously she claimed that she was Native American. The DNA test did not confirm that. And as those of us who do have Native American blood in our bodies, personally,
I'm proud. But I'm also offended by Elizabeth. Guys, stop cultural appropriating. Thank you very much.
I love that. Thank you for joining us. And make sure you follow us at Open Mic Ladies on all platforms. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We will see you guys right back here tomorrow. Until then, have a great afternoon.
You see if you love America, you'll agree. Red hat stays freeze drying again?
Never know what could happen.
Whatever the future may bring, dinner can be certain.
Visit patriot.tv/harvest today.